Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. As you can tell, I'm a little tired, I'm a little out of it, not hungover, but not quite either. You know, mostly just tired, out of it, as I said before, but I shall persevere through that, because I want to tell you about this brand new studio album from American death metal supergroup Inhuman Condition entitled Fearsick. Inhuman Condition was formed in 2020 by Jeramie King and Taylor Nordberg, both of whom are currently members of The Absence, both of whom were previously members of influential American death metal crew Massacre. Jeramie King is also a member of Venom Inc. and XDO, and Taylor Nordberg is also a member of Deicide. Specifically, Inhuman Condition was formed after Jeramie and Taylor departed from the aforementioned Massacre. Why did they leave Massacre? I honestly don't know. I don't know if they quit, I don't know if they were fired, and I also kind of don't care. What I do know, and what I do care about, is that all of the material that they were writing for Massacre, for what would have been a new Massacre record, they took it and they turned it into Inhuman Condition's debut album, Rat God. And they even enlisted the help of a death metal bass guitar hero in the form of Terry Butler, who many of you will know currently as a member of Obituary, but he has also worked with 6 Feet Under through the 90s and through the 2000s. He was also a member of Death, ever so briefly, performing on Spiritual Healing. And Terry Butler also coincidentally performed with Massacre as well. Not consistently through the years, but he has performed with them and recorded a slew of records with them. So yeah, on top of having a slew of great talent, this is basically Massacre 2.0. In fact, the name Inhuman Condition is taken from an EP that Massacre put out in 1992. With all of this in mind, it should not be very shocking for you to now learn that Fearsick is a remarkably straightforward, simplistic kind of meat and potatoes old-school death metal record. Very much in the vein of classic Massacre, but also very much in the vein of, like, Scream Bloody Gore and Leprosy-era Death, some early Possessed. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it, I got mad respect for all these fucking guys, but I was just really fucking bored by this record. I was so bored by this record that, honestly, I've been sitting here for a while struggling to find ways to really describe it to y'all, because there's just not a lot going on. Don't get me wrong, folks, I love me some old school death metal. I love classic Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Angel and Obituary and Possessed and Death. It's fun to listen to. You know, classic Massacre is fucking great, but at this point in 2022, death metal has evolved a lot, and there are a lot of bands doing this old school death metal sound better than Inhuman Condition, like Undeath earlier this year with It's Time to Rise from the Grave. That is everything that old school style death metal should be right now. The production value, the songwriting, the intensity, the atmosphere, and the vibe of that record. There's so many varied riffs and tempos. You know, it's brutal, it's in your face, it's tight as fuck too, and it feels fresh, you know? Like, Grandma baked you something fresh for you. This feels like Grandma fucking microwaved something that's been sitting in the back of her fridge for way too fucking long. To be fair, the album does start off on a decent note with the mold treatment, you know, there are lots of chunky riffs and beats and barrages of 1980s, early 90s death metal nonsense and mayhem. Caustic Vomit Reveries has a bit of momentum to it, with some really gnarly grooves contrasted by some faster, more explosive kind of death metal, extreme metal barrages. Definitely channeling more Morbid Angel here than, say, Massacre, but I'm not fucking objecting. I love me some Morbid Angel too. And look, in general, across the album, there are plenty of chunky riff barrages and blast beats and old school death metal glory, you know? Like, if you're just super nostalgic, if you have a hardcore nostalgia boner for classic death metal, if you love Grandma's meat and potatoes, Microwave to Hell and Back, go for it. You'll have a fucking blast. But I don't have a nostalgia boner, and I'm not really enjoying Grandma's microwaved meat and potatoes all that much. For me, this got really boring really quickly. There's just no variety or creativity to speak of whatsoever on here. All the riffs and all the beats kind of feel the same. All the songs kind of flow the same. The lyrics are edgy, but not so much so where I even want to sit here and, like, make fun of them or cringe at them. It's just really dumb, generic death metal songwriting. There are no special guests to speak of whatsoever on this record, no outside influences like a sudden burst of thrash or black metal or whatever the fuck. It makes for a very, very, very predictable experience. The record feels kind of lazy, as if it's just kind of going through the motions. Like, it's very obvious that all of this stuff was left over from a Massacre record, because this kind of just feels like Massacre's sloppy seconds. Like, I understand they want to make an old-school death metal record, but that doesn't mean they have to do something as unremarkable as this. That doesn't mean they can't do something a little bit different. This is one of those rare occasions where I didn't even re-listen to the record. Like, I listened to it once and I was like, yep, that's what that is. I did not feel the need to revisit this, to re-examine it in any legitimate capacity. I heard it once, I made some notes, and now here we are. I would give this an extremely unenthusiastic 2.5 out of 5. I mean, it's by no means an offensive listen. It's by no means a harmful listen. I don't feel like I wasted my time or anything like that, but I will never listen to this again. I have no need or desire to listen to this ever again. Why would I bother when I can get so much old school death metal done so much better by so many other bands, new and old? But yeah, that's it. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm kind of surprised that I've been able to say this much, because there really just is nothing to this record. 2.5 out of 5. It's okay. Like, it's fine. If you really love this style and sound, and, you know, for whatever reason that Undeaf record did not fucking do it for you, then go nuts. Listen to this fucking thing. Enjoy yourself, man. But I just don't fucking care. And if it wasn't for the fact that this is still, all things considered, pretty well performed and produced, this would be getting a much lower score, because I was just really thoroughly bored by it. Straight up. Plain and simple. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I'm not an expert, nor do I claim to be, so what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.